Boop, 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 boop. Hello and welcome to or back to Miss Crafts Blair. I am Barbie and I am a multi-crafter. This is the place where I share all my tips, tricks, triumphs, tragedies, and all things crafty. So if that is something that you are interested in, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get to today's video. Today I am going to show you how to do corner to corner crochet from a chart. So I'm going to go over real fast how to corner to corner or C2C crochet, and then I will show you how I carry the yarn and run the yarn. I am not going to show you how to float the yarn for the fact that I don't care for floating yarn, and that's just not what I do when I corner to corner or C2C crochet. So to get started, let me get you looking at the chart. And my lovely tablet is pretty low on battery, so I have it charging at the moment. But as you can see here on my tablet, I have the chart for an ice cream cone, and I am going to real fast go over how to read the chart for corner to corner crochet. Now with C2C or corner to corner crochet, I start at the bottom corner. Now this is as working with a righty. I'm assuming that working as a lefty, you would actually start from this corner and work back. If you are a lefty crocheter and you have tried C2C crochet before, please give me that information. I'm curious as to if I'm correct by that assumption. Anywho, so we start off in right-handed form. We are going to start off here with the number 1, and because this is basically just working diagonally, each row has a number associated with it, as to the fact that we are going to be working in a diagonal fashion. That's what I'm trying to spit out of my mouth. It goes per the chart, it's going to go pretty smoothly until we hit row 8, where we are going to be adding in our brown yarn. So without further ado, let's get to the yarn. So I'm going to be making a smaller demonstration for you today on how to do the corner to corner crochet. The chart that I showed was just a little too long and it was going to be more drawn out. So I am going to start this off by doing a slip knot and chaining 6. And then I am going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook and in the next 2 chains. Let's see, so that's what we've got. Now every increased row is going to start off the same. So we are going to chain 6, and then again we are going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook and in the next 2 chains. Now to work this second block, I gotta get in there. Now to work the second block on this row, we are looking at our piece and it kind of looks like this. So we want to turn this 180, and then we are going to slip stitch into that chain 3 space. We're going to chain 3 again, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets along this chain 3 space. So 1, 2, 3. So that's the chain 3 space from the first block. So this is what we have looking at us. If this is going to be the right side here, so there you go. So that gives you an idea of what that looks like. So we're going to work another increased row again. So we're going to chain 6, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook and the next 2 chains to get us 3 double crochets. That's kind of the going block here. And again, we're going to have to turn our piece, kind of flip our piece 180 so that we can work into the 3 single crochet or 3 chain 3 spaces along the next, well, from row 2. If I can talk, it would be absolutely wonderful. And again, that's going to be 3 double crochets, slip stitch into that next chain 3, chain 3, and then we're going to work 3 double crochets again. I am going to work one more row here of regular increases. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, and the next 2, and then we're going to slip stitch after doing that 180 twist, doing that slip stitch, chain 3, and then we're going to make 3 double crochets. We're going to do that across, 2 or across, and I will always say across. We're going to continue this on until we have the 4 blocks from this 4th row. For this row, I'm going to do an increase, if I can actually do the chains. I am going to go ahead and double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook and the next 2, twist the work 180, slip stitch into the top of that. Now I'm going to work 2 double crochets as normal, and then I'm going to change to the pink in the top of the 3rd. Now I have the wrong side facing me, so I'm going to want to keep these tails on the wrong side. So that would be obviously facing me. So I have now switched to the pink, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the next chain 3, pull everything tight, so make sure that everything is nice and snug, and I am going to crochet and carry or crochet over the pink tail and the white working yarn to make 1 block of pink. I'm going to make the double crochet as normal. I'm going to hold that white yarn, and I am going to go ahead and change back into white on the top of that um, on the top of that stitch. So then I am going to tack this pink in here, and I'm going to run this pink, carry this pink underneath these white stitches. So I've dropped that tail, just working with over the working pink yarn, and I am going to create this white block. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to want to bring this pink yarn up, so I'm going to tack it this way as such. So we want all of our tails heading to the back. I made that mistake. And then I am going to go ahead and make this last white block. So there's the wrong side. That's what it's going to look like so far. I'm going to go ahead and do one more increase row. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Fourth chain from the hook gets a double crochet. Next 2 get double crochets. This time though, I'm going to work 1 block in white. There we go. That first block in white, my hands are not wanting to work with me. And then I'm going to be working the second one in pink. So I'm going to change to pink in this particular stitch. So that's that last stitch of the white block. And then I'm going to slip stitch, chain 3, and I'm going to work now 3 blocks in pink. Now, typically, I only like to carry yarn for 3 stitches or 3 groups of stitches when it comes to um, when it comes to corner to corner. If I can remember what I'm doing, it would be absolutely freaking great. Okay, so I tacked that white down. I'm going to go ahead and tack it down again. I tacked it into that last stitch, and then I'm going to work this next stitch. This next block will be pink. If I'm working any more than 3 blocks in corner to corner, I like to bobbin my yarn just for the fact that I think that looks a little bit better. So I am going to hold that white in there and finish off that stitch. So that pink or that white is kind of tacked in there. And that's the same way it is tacked in here, so it's not free floating and it isn't catching your eye as much. So then this next one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tack the white down into the slip stitch, chain 3, and work this one as a pink. And I'm going to switch back over to white, so I'm going to catch the white, or finish off that third double crochet in that group with the white, slip stitch, and then finish this row off. And the next thing I will show you is how to decrease. I generally do not float my yarn. I will say this as I'm finishing up this row. I generally do not float my yarn just for the fact that I don't think it looks great when it comes to corner crochet. It's just way too much loose. I prefer tacking down, and I also prefer tacking down when I'm running stitches like that. So when I would come back to this one, that yarn would be tacked down, but that's probably the biggest float that I would have, and I can still kind of work that to being tucked in better while I'm hiding tails. All right, so now we've gotten to the point where we're going to start decreasing this particular pattern, or this particular piece. So how we decrease is that when we're on the top of these chain threes, or the top of the stitches like this, we're going to turn the work, and then we are going to slip stitch in the top of the double crochets along the side, and then we're going to chain one, or slip stitch one, into that chain three space, and then we're going to go ahead and chain three and work the block as normal, so 3 double crochets in that block. Now there are some times you are going to be working a corner to corner that's going to turn into a rectangle. So if that was the case here, we would continue a block here, and how many ever rows needed to be increased. So you can have a decreased row and an increased row, and a decrease and an increase, or vice versa, on rows if you are working rectangle. For this demonstration, I am going to work a square. So I'm even with this last block on this row. So I am going to go ahead and slip stitch into that to tack it. But instead of working the block as normal, I'm actually going to turn this, and then I'm going to slip stitch in the top of these 3 double crochets. And into the chain 3. For some reason this yarn wants to be splitty with me. All right. I am just going to leave that. All right, so now we're going to chain 3. And we are going to go ahead and work these next blocks as we normally would. And we're on our last block, so 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets. Slip stitch to tack it, and slip stitch across. Turn and slip stitch across. Then I'm going to do the slip stitch into the chain 3, chain 3, work this one as normal. Again, attack it, and single crochet, or slip stitch across. So tack, slip stitch to tack it, turn it. We have 2 more rows to do, so 3 more blocks in total. slip stitch into that chain 3, chain 3, tack it, turn it, slip stitch, and then we have one more to go. So we're going to chain this last chain 3. We're going to make the last 3 double crochets. Now at the end of this, there are 2 ways to finish off. So you have the slip stitch in here, and you can just pull that tight and call it a day, or you can still turn and do those 3 slip stitches into those last 3 double crochets and into the chain 3, which I think kind of gives it a better look. You're gonna be hiding those tails anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I just like those last 3. So that is what it looks like on the right side. On the wrong side, my floats are kind of hanging out there. When I go to hide this tail, I would kind of get that white yarn, that white float that's still there, a little bit better in there. But that is my tutorial for the corner to corner crochet. Thank you if you have made it this far in this video. I appreciate it. And if you did make it this far in this video and you are not subscribed yet, come on, what are you waiting for? Join in the fun. Um, I hope you like this tutorial. I hope that you got something from this. Um, like I said, downsized from the yarn was size 4 yarn calls for an H to a J hook. I downsized to a G hook, and I like how it comes out a whole lot better. It doesn't look as free. So, okay. Well, that is my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, bye!